show started. Well, anyways, welcome to the Greek Comedy Show, where you will learn everything and anything about Greek comedy in 5 minutes. Let's start from the beginning. The history of Greek comedy is unclear. Sicily and the Palace of Megara, which is located between Corinth and Athens, both claim to invent Greek comedy. During this time, a writer named Epicharmus wrote many comedy plays, but none seemed to survive all the way. One of the plays she wrote was called Hebe's Wedding, which was set in Olympus and was about the marriage of Heracles and Hebe. What made this play so hilarious was that Heracles was an aggressive man who ate like a pig and also drank a little too much. Drank too much. Epicharmus also wrote musicless comedy that dealt with contemporary life and also about arguments between non-human abstractions. Now, I'll pass it down to Paul to teach you the different ways how Greek comedy has changed throughout history. Oh, this is awkward. Thanks, Tyler. Hey guys, my name is Paul, and now we'll learn about how Greek comedy was when it started. This time period of the development of comedy was called Old Comedy. Plays during the Old Comedy were based on allusions to Athenian politics and was seen as a form of art around 488 to 487 BC. Each of the chief judges in ancient Athens were made responsible for providing a course for a day for 5 comedies to be produced at the City Dionysia festival each spring. Early 440 BC, a day of comedy was included in the other great festival of Dionysus, where drama was present. This was called the Leona festival in January. In the 4th century, comedies were produced in rural Dionysia, which were festivals in the districts of Athens. There were many playwriters during this time like Crates, Theocrates, and Callicles, but many of their plays don't survive. In contrast, a writer also during this time named Aristophanes made 11 comedy plays which have survived and are a big part of Greek Old Comedy. They survived because his plays were taught to Greek schoolboys in the 2nd century. Aristophanes lived from 450 to 385 BC, which was around the time Athens had issues in politics. In addition, none of his plays were written during wartime. His first comedy was The Big Winterus, produced in 427 BC, which won 2nd prize at the City of Dionysia. The following years, his play The Babylonians won 1st prize. His play, called Clouds, took 3rd place during the Peloponnesian War. This made him disappointed because the number of comedies had reduced from 5 to 3, which meant it came last place, so he became determined to rewrite his play. Another one of his plays were called The Birds. It's a good humorous imitation on the castles that some Athenians were building as they were imagining their victory in overtaking Sicily in the 5th century. Athenians wanted to take over one of Sicily's empires to become the superpower in the Greek world. This play is about 2 Athenians named Pisistratus and Euclides who convinced birds to build a new city which would be called Klaukukulin, located in the sky between earth and heaven. Here is a clip from The Birds.
Che vivranno insieme in un luogo tra Corinto e Sicione. Il primo sacrificio di un candido ariete sarà per la dea dei regali, e a colui che per primo esporrà la mia profezia darete un mantello pulito e delle scarpe.
Finally, done with Old Comedy. Next, Tom and Ben will teach you about Middle Comedy and New Comedy. With the defeat of Athens in the Peloponnesian War, comedy went under an enormous change. It went from being about politics to being about food, sex, and courtesan.
Menander, a playwright who lived during this time, produced his first comedy play named Anger. due to the loss in the Peloponnesian War.
During this time, the audience was mostly middle class and the poor could no longer afford to go to the theaters.
Characters during the Middle Comedy were Pan-Hellenic, meaning they appealed to any Greek city and not just Athens. Many playwrights during this time weren't even Athenian citizens. Moving on to New Comedy.
New comedy was a style after Alexander the Great in the 3rd century BCE and onwards.
Many festivals for comedy plays were held in cities everywhere, and professional actors traveled from place to place to perform. From Greece, New Comedy went to Rome, where Plautus and Terence made plays on the New Comedy model.
While old comedy was tied to one place at one time, new comedy had universal appeal.